Yeah, this your homegirl. Olivia Barbosa, and I'm a forward to County, New York. I just came up here in this live right now until the other YouTubers that are from New York and New Jersey and Connecticut and Boston and Providence. There was a time where we had to go to the barbecues. We had to go to the street parties. A lot of you don't remember the street parties. A lot of you don't remember. I remember. I remember the years ago with two Puerto Rican chicks tried to do a birthday party. Tried to do a birthday party for their daughters. The whole neighborhood came, and after that year, both of the mothers said they would never do it again. They were mothers. Puerto Rican chick, Dominican chick. They was also Black Panther members. You gotta remember how New York was before they destroyed New York. Before Giuliano destroyed New York. Before Bloomberg destroyed New York. Because they wanted New York for a certain sector of people. We was here. We built this country. My grandfather built this country. My father built this country. My grandmothers built this country. Great grandmothers built this country. None of them white bitches can say they did the same shit. None of them. Shout out to the chat. I don't give a fuck who say anything about me. They be about both of 914 was the county New York. We in the motherfucking house. We do another live video real quick. And I'm gonna talk about the women that was in the neighborhood. The last women that were doing the block parties. And those women were Puerto Ricans. And they, in their younger days, they was part of the Black Panther Party. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. When I went to that last party a couple of years ago, and yeah, and the woman told me, she said, I'm not gonna do it no more. Not gonna do it no more. We talk. When I was in Yonkers, New York, I used to talk to a lot of women. A lot of women that were Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Haitian, Jamaican, Mexican, but it became more relevant when I went to fucking prison. Who I was going to see and who I wasn't going to see. Shout out to the chat. I don't care a fuck if I'm the only one here. I'm going to tell my goddamn truth. I'm going to tell my goddamn story. Shout out to Queen Regina. I'm going to tell my story. Shout out to the chat. But I'm not going to incriminate myself. One thing I do know, I was raised in a home where there was no love. It was just nothing but abuse. Abuse. And I remember when that woman that authored most of that, and one thing she said, I was, and she told me, Sister Arabia, I'm sorry. You're sorry. Don't pay for shit. I want money. I want fucking money. I want my reparations. I want the government and the state to pay me my fucking money. Period. My people that did the slavery years and the Jim Crow years. But I'm going to tell you about Francis Crowder. I'm going to tell you about Francis Crowder because Francis Crowder was a slave. Francis Crowder, grandchild, grandson, was my grandfather, Smith. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. I don't give a fuck who hear it. Brooklyn Lady Ellie, you find it so easy for you to live in this world, and you say you don't care nothing about what happened in slavery. You don't give a fuck about what happened in Jim Crow. Bitch, don't give a fuck. I give a fuck. Because my people lived through it. If your people would have lived through that bullshit, you wouldn't be saying the same thing. But you sitting over there with Lonnie. And Lonnie is a coon. She truly is a coon. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. She said this one and that one is a coon. Lonnie is a coon. Yeah. You know why Lonnie is a coon? Because she went out there in the world and saw what they were doing to people that got out of prison. Did she write a book? Did she talk about it on YouTube? Did she documented it on YouTube or whatever social media platform she might be on? This bitch don't do shit. She don't do shit. But she got catfished by that dude a few years ago. Like 2 years ago. Facts over feelings catfished you. That's what he did. But Brooklyn Lady Ellie, I see you inserting yourself in certain beefs and certain sectors and certain situations. Brooklyn Lady Ellie, I'm gonna tell you right now, you better cam the fuck up. Next time I come on this YouTube app, Brooklyn Lady Ellie need to cam the fuck up. Cause that white woman, only thing she wanna do is listen to black people experience, wanna soak up their music, wanna do this and that. She had a child by a Puerto Rican dude, and the Puerto Rican dude hated black people. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 Western County, New York. I don't give a fuck. Brooklyn Lady Ellie, you don't need to talk about nobody on this app, especially black people. Because you always set yourself up to talk against about black people. And I don't understand why Lonnie don't understand that. Lonnie don't have to have me in her corner. I don't need to be in Lonnie corner. But Brooklyn Lady Ellie, you are an undercover racist. You're undercover racist. You got a bunch of hate for black people. And you said I doxed people on my bigger channel. Who did I dox? Did I call their name? And if I did call their name, don't nobody know them. So what the fuck you talking about, bitch? Stay out of my goddamn business. Stay out of my goddamn business and do your own life. Do your own life. Your life is miserable and it's empty. I live in my apartment. I live alone. But guess what? My life is not fucking empty. I got people in my life, unlike you. I ain't gonna ask where your relatives are. I already did that before. I know where my relatives are at. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. It is what it is. Brooklyn Lady Ellie, please stop talking about me and other people. And the only people you really talk about is black people. Because you think you're part of the black experience. You're not a part of the black experience. You are the enemy of the black experience. Shout out to the chat. I don't give a fuck who's in here or who ain't. They'll catch it later on. I ain't got nothing against Brooklyn Lady Ellie. Always Ellie. Got nothing against you. But you got a lot of shit against me. And that's what white people do. White people that are truly racist, yeah, that's what they do. And you are a racist. You are part of the Ku Klux Klan. And you think you think I ain't gonna talk about it. You have those feelings. Even though me and you was friends years ago, you friends with Lonnie, you friends with different ones on this YouTube app, but Brooklyn Lady Ellie, always Ellie Holloway, you are a racist. I grew up in New York. I knew about those undercover racist people. Been knowing them all my life. And they was the ones that set me up to be sexually abused and physically abused, mentally abused, spiritually abused. You was abused in the same way. But you had your mother and your father to support you. I didn't have my mother and father to support me. I was alone. I was by myself. Shout out to the chat. I don't give a fuck who hear this. That white woman over there need to know that. Always, Ellie, you need to know what the fuck you talking about before you talk about it. And it seemed like to me she liked to look at black people as being singers or actors and actors and all this other stuff. That is what white supremacy did to our people in this country. put them as entertainers, singers, dancers, poets, whatever. And she seemed to think that she's not a racist. She is a racist. She's a racist. Because what would have happened during World War II, and her people would have been caught up in the swarm, caught up in a rival. Was she purely white or not? Because the Germans at that time, they made the decision. They went to Poland, they went to different other European countries. They were not considered white under the Nazi eye. Under them. Did you sit in a fucking prison when a woman was sitting with a swastika on her arm, on her neck, in her hair, below her eye? Was you there? Was you there when what happened and two 911 911? What happened that year? What happened that year in New York? Was your people caught up in the swarm? Was your people killed off? No. But you want to get up here, always Ellie, Brooklyn Lady Ellie, Moonchild Ellie. You want to get up here and talk about black people in a disparaging way. If you don't have no disparaging way, when I go live tomorrow, hit the fucking link and cam the fuck up. Because I know you'll never do it. And shout out to the chat. I'm out of here.